Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Cruising is Life discussion. This week we'll be talking about the Carnival Fantasy class and their importance and kind of why they're still around. So to start things off, in the mid to late 80s, Carnival was designing this new class of ship. It ended up almost being like a holiday class plus almost. They're very similar in design. These ships are 70,000 tons and at the time were some of the largest in the world. When they first ordered these ships, they only ordered 3 actually. They ordered Fantasy, Ecstasy, and Sensation. As these ships started coming out, they kept ordering more and more and more, and we ended up with 8 Fantasy class ships. And they are the largest as of like number wise of class of ship. There are 8 in total, which I don't think anyone planned on there being that many, but ended up being a large chunk of the Carnival fleet. Fast forward to now, Carnival Fantasy, coming up on 28 years later, is still in the fleet, which is kind of amazing. Many ships don't normally last more than maybe 20, definitely not more than 25 years usually with their original cruise line or the original fleet. Usually just because, age, they usually will get sold off to another line as they bring in more new ships. I guess that really didn't happen because 28 years later, Carnival Fantasy is still very strong within Carnival Cruise Line, and they don't really even plan on selling it anytime soon, according to John Held. The Fantasy class is actually one of their more popular ships, actually, which is kind of strange. With them being so small, and they're only holding about 2,000 passengers, a lot of people love it because they're short cruises, there's not a lot of people on board, and they're very low-budget cruises. I mean, you could find inspiration and imagination out of, Los Angeles for, a few $100. Or even on the East Coast side, Fantasy and all the other Fantasy class ships are almost similar in price. I guess the reason these ships have been staying around for so long is because they're just so popular. People love them for some reason. They sell out almost every week. So why sell the ship that's still doing well? To keep these ships looking nice and fresh, every so many years, over, 20 plus years, the ships will get worn out and, they'll get old over time and, people have gone many times and it's the same thing. So in 2006, they actually unveiled the enhancements that they are making on these ships, and they planned on pretty much fleet-wide, or I guess fleet-wide as in the Carnival Fantasy class. But they planned on, renovating all of these ships, all 8 of these, and, they're adding all new waterworks shown here. The balcony cabins that are shown on these ships, the Ecstasy, Sensation, and Fascination. And then, I guess, as they progressed, only 3 ships got the balconies, and Elation and Paradise, actually, which are the 2 newer ones, never got the waterworks. Actually, as I'm filming this, Carnival Elation is in dry dock, currently receiving those waterworks, but a little bit extra is being added because they're doing a complete overhaul on the ship, and then soon after Elation will be Paradise. We'll be getting the same thing. I have a few pictures kind of around here of kind of the dry dock photos. You can see it looks like they're adding a ducktail. They're adding more balcony cabins. It looks like the ones that are on the Sensation and others like that have the balconies. It looks like they're getting some on top as well, where that mini golf course used to be. And they're also finally getting that nice big waterworks in the back of the ship. With Speaking of Elation and Paradise being the two that never really got that upgrade back in the late 2000s, they're also some of, I guess, the first ships in Carnival fleet to get azipods. They're, I guess, out of all 8, only those 2 got azipods, and later on down the road, several other ships, up until recently, have only got them. Up until the Vista class, and it's kind of becoming more standard. Besides that, that's really the fantasy class in a whole. They're still some of Carnival's more popular ships, and they continue to sail to this day. All 8 of them, whether it's 28 years later or almost 20 years later, they're still going strong, and hopefully it's for many more years. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys liked this kind of talking about ship classes itself in discussion videos. If you guys like it, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you like it enough, I will make more, do different classes, things like that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and keep cruising.